For most of human history, we've looked up at the night sky and wondered if we were alone. The stars have always been silent companions, distant, cold, and unreachable. We built telescopes to see farther, satellites to listen harder, and equations to predict what might be out there. But the universe remained quiet. No messages, no signs, just the vastness of space and the echo of our own curiosity. Then, everything changed. A signal was detected, subtle at first, buried in cosmic noise, but it repeated. It carried structure. It wasn't random. It was deliberate. It came from a galaxy far beyond our own, one we had never explored. The signal pulsed with rhythm, like a heartbeat. It was a transmission, a message, and it was not ours. The scientific community responded quickly. Observatories across continents confirmed the signal. It wasn't a glitch. It wasn't a reflection. It was real, and it was coming from a region of space previously considered lifeless. The signal contained patterns, mathematical sequences, harmonic intervals, and spatial coordinates. It was a form of communication, and it was intelligent. What followed was one of the most significant discoveries in human history. A civilization not imagined, not theoretical, but observable, advanced, organized, and surprisingly familiar. Their world was unlike ours in many ways. Twin suns lit their skies. Their atmosphere shimmered with ionized particles. Their terrain was shaped by forces we barely understood, but their cities, those were unmistakable. They were built with purpose, powered by renewable energy, integrated with the environment. Their architecture adapted to weather, terrain, and population. Buildings shifted with the wind. Streets responded to footsteps. Light was used not just for illumination, but for communication. They weren't just surviving, they were thriving. We saw parallels. They built with light and motion. We built with stone and steel. They harnessed wind and gravity. We relied on combustion and concrete. Yet the goals were the same: shelter, community, progress. Their cities were not monuments to dominance. They were expressions of balance. Their society was structured and intelligent. Education was immersive. Children learned through experience, not instruction. They interacted with their environment, shaping it as they grew. Knowledge wasn't stored in books or screens. It was embedded in their surroundings. The way buildings moved, in the way streets hummed, in the way sound traveled through corridors. Communication was fluid. They used sound, gesture, and shared experience. Language was layered, part vocal, part visual, part emotional. They didn't speak in sentences. They conveyed meaning through synchronized patterns. It was efficient. It was elegant. Children played freely. They built, explored, and asked questions. Their curiosity shaped their environment. Their games taught them how to adapt, how to lead, how to imagine. It was familiar. It was universal. Watching them was like watching our own children, different in form but identical in spirit. At night, they entered a shared state of rest. Sleep wasn't just biological, it was communal. Their minds connected, forming a network of dreams and memory. They used sleep to process emotion, to solve problems, to evolve. It was a form of collective reflection, a way to synchronize thought and experience. We responded, not with data or formulas, but with story. We sent images of our cities, our landscapes, our families. We shared music, language, and the sound of our heartbeat. We introduced ourselves, not as conquerors, not as observers, but as fellow beings seeking connection. They replied with a visual transmission. It showed their oceans, their skies, their homes. It showed how they lived, how they learned, how they dreamed. They shared their culture, their values, their hopes. It wasn't a conversation. It was a connection. We didn't meet in space. We met in thought. Through shared simulations, we walked their streets. We stood beneath their twin suns. We experienced their world as they experienced ours. It was immersive. It was real. It was transformative. They gave us light in encoded form of knowledge, not to power machines, but to expand understanding. It contained principles of physics, models of biology, and frameworks of ethics. It wasn't a manual. It was a mirror. We gave them stona, fragment of earth, not to build, but to remember. It carried our history, our struggles, our resilience. It was a symbol of who we were and who we hoped to become. Each gift carried meaning. Each gift carried trust. They don't store history the way we do. No servers, no paper. Their memory flows through their environment. It's embedded in architecture, in sound, in movement. Their buildings remember footsteps. Their streets remember conversations. Their forests remember songs. We built digital archives. They built living ones. Eventually, the signal faded. Not abruptly, not mysteriously, but gradually. Like a conversation ending with a quiet nod. Like a friend walking away, knowing they'll return. We didn't say goodbye. We said, until next time now. When we look at our cities, we see more than buildings. We see intention. We see connection. When our children draw stars, they draw companions. When we sleep, we wonder who else is dreaming. This is not the end. It's the beginning. We are not alone. We are not the first. We are not the last. We are part of something larger, something older, something shared. We are the echo.